On to State Bank of India, which today cut its base rate by 5 basis points to 9.7%, effective next Monday. Simran Gill has the details.
SBI has cut its base rate by a marginal 5 basis points to 9.70 from 9.75% effective 4th of Feb. And of course, this comes in the backdrop of RBI cutting its both CRR and the repo rate by 25 basis each yesterday. And this CRR cut alone gave SBI a release of 3,000 crore rupees. And of course, the total relief that SBI has got from both repo cut as well as the CRR cut is about 300 crore rupees. So certainly, the bank has managed to pass on some benefit to the borrowers out there. And of course, we have also spoken to the bank's chairman, who says that they want to continue to remain competitive in this environment and they want to prove themselves to be one of the most efficient lenders in the market. So certainly that is why they have thought of bringing down their base rate, though marginally. Of course, as far as margin pressure is concerned, as you know that the base rate cut is very marginal. So of course, they are not going to face any pressure on margins going forward. And most of the funding is going to be done because of the release that they are getting from the CRR. And when moving on to deposit rates, well, on the deposit front, the bank is on a wait and watch situation. They still haven't decided whether they will be looking at cutting deposit rates on certain segments, and that is a call that they will take sometime later. But as far as the liquidity situation in the bank is concerned, the bank is sitting on an excess liquidity of nearly 40 to 45,000 crore rupees. So certainly not too much of a concern even out there. And of course, with today's base rate cut by the largest lender in the country, it certainly will prompt other lenders also to look at cutting their lending rate.
All right, let's focus on that rate cut. We have Mr. Pradeep Chaudhary, Chairman of State Bank of India, joining us on the show. Mr. Chaudhary, thanks very much for joining us. To begin with, take us through the rate cut that you have carried out following the RBI's policy easing.
Both the base rate and the BPLR have been reduced by 5 basis points each. So our base rate now stands reduced from 9.75 to 9.70, which also happens to be the lowest in the industry. And consequent upon this, the benefit of the rate cut would go to all customers, whether existing or new. So therefore, there would be absolute parity in the existing customers as also the new customers. And consequent to this, the home loan rate becomes almost unimaginable, 9.95, which though symbolic, let us not forget that it's a single digit interest rate, and we have seen this after a very, very long time. And we think this will prove to be a big draw, and there would be greater interest among the home loan borrowers and auto loan borrowers to come to State Bank of India.
Right, Mr. Chaudhary, but why just an easing of 5 basis points? Does this mean that you have no further scope to cut rates at the moment?
Oh, I think it's full monetary transmission, because as per our calculation, the savings coming from the cut in CRR and the repo rate would be approximately 300 crores per annum. And on a portfolio of 6 lakh crore, a 5 basis point cut translates into exactly 300 crores. So whatever has been the impact or extent of the saving has been transmitted in full to our customers and in a non-differentiated manner. So all customers, regardless of the segment, regardless of the scale, regardless of their borrowing arrangements, benefit right.
Right. So what about deposit rates? Did the fact that you need to keep rates high hamper your ability to cut rates?
No, deposit rates already we are 25 basis point lower than the industry, and some banks have raised the deposit rate. So we find that our deposit rates and deposits are pretty stable and our liquidity is very comfortable. So that's why we have not raised the deposit rates.
Also, sir, what kind of growth have you seen both in home and auto loans, given the competitive rates that you offer?
I think the home loan is currently running at about 35 to 40% on an annualized basis in the month of December and whatever we have seen in the January. And the auto loan growth is also something like 30%. And some, approximate reports or the market reports suggest that in auto loan we have now become the #1 in terms of the originator of auto loan. So we find a lot of traction, and we find our strategies both with regard to pricing as also with regard to distribution are working out very well.